Yeah, hi, how are ya? Okay, so one of the very first programs that we would work on in early imitation in early intervention is imitation. Unfortunately, the older kind of way of doing that, the gross motor imitations, do this, do this, do this. As effective as they are, there's a lot of evidence coming out that they're probably not the most enjoyable experience for the actual child on the other side of them, because they're quite arbitrary. There's not really a chance in the real world where you're told do this, do this, do this, as much as behaviour analysts try to make that argument. What's up there? Oh, let's see the crispies. So there are ways to make that more enjoyable, just with slight tweaks. And obviously the very, very first one of those is to look at object imitation over gross motor imitation. So Lila has lots of toys out here that she actually likes, or that might be used as reinforcers. She has a little bowl of crispies there and raisins. She has her music box. And what I've done here is I've taken out a couple of the things that you could use as an object imitation, very, very first program. So let's see if we can get one of these guns going. Oh, here's Dolly. Is it Dolly? I'm going to feed her. Nom, 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 nom. You try? Nom, nom, nom. Wow! Nom, 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 nom. Good job. Well done. So you can see there's no do this. Yes, you still want the controlling variable, or the SD, to be your model, and that's what she's responding to rather than a verbal. But I think at this stage of early intervention, you can presume that they're not actually going towards your model. They are actually imitating there as well. So the SD there being my model, the model being not just the action of feeding the doll, but that there was also a verbal in there. And that's really, really important to remember. Try and make a very simple one syllable CV or CVCV word, so that the child has an opportunity or a model that they might imitate in the future. And then you have the little bit of a reinforcer at the end there as well. Wow. Now I'm not using crisps as a reinforcer because she doesn't actually seem to want them at the minute. She just wants to kick them around. Now let's see. What you also want to remember there, so number one is that we're doing imitation, but without the kind of do this very staid, old-fashioned approach. Number two, we're using objects instead of people. Number three, you're always making a sound with it as well. Number four, oh yeah, that's very good, well done. Number four, I would say, is to have a wide array out, okay? Yes, it's important that they make the imitation or the model action there as well, or they imitate the model action, but it's also important that they're making a selection from an array, that they're not just memorizing things. So if I only had the doll out, she actually wouldn't even have to look at me. She'd be like, oh, she's doing this doll game again. I'm not even gonna look to see what it is. But what if I do something different? Ready? Mwah! Can you do? Mwah! Isn't that lovely? Yeah, good girl, well done. So that's another imitation there, again with another sound. By doing two actions with one object, so it could be kiss and feed the doll, it could be bang and shake the drum, it could be stir and drink, it could be roll and crush. Okay, so two motor actions with each object. Are you going to do it as well? Wow, good girl. So a couple of hints and tips there. Have your array out, as large as an array as your child is able for. Oh, I see. Have your array out there as well. So that's, I think, tip 5 or 6, but I'm not going to keep track here because I think she's going to make a run for that phone that she sees me talking to. Are you going to do it? 1, 2, 3, crush! Yay! Well done. Yay! And then you can see actually there we're doing a little bit of gross motor imitation. One more tip, if I can get it in there. You don't have to use totally novel objects. Why don't you take something that she actually likes and uses and plays with by herself, okay? So something like that, like the cause and effect toy. She probably can push that button by herself. Are you ready? Are you steady? Oh, this one's a bit stiff. Ready, steady, go! So I know she can actually do that one by herself. Do you want to do it? Big push. Wow! Good job. So it can actually be not a novel motor action for her. It could be something that's already in her repertoire, but by rewarding it and making the SD not her own motivation, but actually my model that she copies and then that she's rewarded for, you're kind of setting the boundaries or the foundations that motor imitation is a valuable thing to do. Okay, so loads of tips in there. I'll try and keep track of them properly in the notes below because I'm not going to remember them all here. But best of luck, everybody. Bye. Lily, you say bye. Ready? Say bye.